Now we're live. So, welcome to Women of FWA. This is another Q&A session. It is November 14th. I'm Veronica with SWI. We have the one and only Taylor Sparks with Mr. Fence of Florida joining us today. This is her first one, so she might be a little shy on us. Well, as shy as Taylor can be. We also have Heather King with Mr. Fence of Indiana. So I've got like the Mr. Fence girls going on here today. So one of the things that we felt was really, really important to jump on and especially talk about this time of year is company culture and holidays. This is something that gets talked about a lot, is different, holidays that each organization acknowledges. Do you do paid holidays? Do you do incentives or bonuses or, different types of events for your team for different holidays? So when this idea had kind of come up, I thought there was like no better ladies to kind of jump on this live with us and kind of talk about what each organization does, because I'm sure it's a little bit different for each of us. Before we do get started, I want to remind everybody watching this, please register for Facebook with StreamYard to make sure that we can actually see your comments. They are, popping up, so we'll read them and try to answer everybody's questions. So please just take that couple minutes, make sure that StreamYard has access to post your name so we actually know who's commenting and we can acknowledge that. So I think like the best way to get started on this is, does Mr. Fence of Florida do paid holidays? This is one of the things that's super important to SWI. And giving our team, it's, kind of more of an incentive. What do you guys do for holidays, Taylor?
We do offer paid holidays. Christmas, Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and there's one more. There's six of them.
Memorial Day.
Yeah. But yes, we do offer paid
SWI,
holidays.
So we do New Year's, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So you guys are pretty similar. What about you, Heather?
We do the same, but we also give them the Friday after Thanksgiving off as well.
Do you guys? Do you consider that a paid day off?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Nice. Sorry.
So we do the day after Thanksgiving, but production, they leave it optional if they want to work or not. And we always have guys sign up.
So that's one of the things that SWI does is Susan chimes in and says, yes, the Friday after Thanksgiving off is life. We leave it to our team as well. It is not considered a paid day off. If we have people that want to come in and work, whether if they're in the shop or finishing up a project or whatever, we kind of leave it up to them. 99% of the time, there's not a whole lot of people around on Friday after Thanksgiving.
We have so many guys that will sign up.
Is it because they want to get away from their wives?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's all the family in town visiting. I mean,
there's right. Yes.
So Shane just chimed in and said New Year's, Memorial Day, 4th, Labor, Thanksgiving, Friday after shutdown, week between Christmas and New Year's, all paid. Shane, that is awesome. I absolutely love that. We give our team the option between Christmas and New Year's as well to have off. But that is also time to start counting inventory and to wrap up our year. So we kind of treat that one as a volunteer basis as well. But we do give our team that, and it seems to be a good recharge. One of the things wrapping up the end of the year is everybody kind of starts getting at each other. So that week off is a good reset for everybody on our team, that they don't have to see everybody's faces for that week. So
it's almost like school, right? Like whenever you're tired of everybody at school and like ready for summer break.
It definitely is. Says my wife counts inventory, LOL. Unfortunately, the amount of inventory we have, if I left it to one person, that would not go well. Especially in all the different locations. It's all hands on deck, but we do work it so there is, some volunteers that are working. Maybe they don't have vacation time available. And obviously making sure that they're providing for their family and they can take care of the bills and put food on the table and Christmas presents. So we actually have quite a few people that'll actually volunteer to spend that time working, and it helps them, especially getting into the new year. So I have a question for each of you and how your vacation time works, because that vacation time and holiday events and holiday time to me kind of go hand in hand. Heather, do you guys offer paid vacation?
Yes. Are you talking like just in general, like any other job, like a corporate job? Yes, we do. We do. And for the most part, the only thing that we ask is that if it's for a week or longer, that they at least give us a 30-day notice, because we set our schedule out and we want to make sure we have like the correct amount of crews running on team. And of course, you can't plan for everything, because right. If you have an emergency at the hospital or whatever, you can't know that 30 days in advance. But yes, we totally offer that. Salary, we have some salary. I don't know. I'm sure Taylor's probably the same. Well, I'm sure you are probably the same way too, Veronica, is that you have salary people. So they kind of get a little bit different options versus your hourly employees. But yeah.
I do want to make sure and say that anybody that has salary employees, please make sure to follow the Federal Department of Labor regulations on what is a salary exempt employee and what is a non-salary exempt employee. I know that there are some other that are a little confused on what that looks like and what the legal way is and the legal job descriptions for salary employees. But yes, we have both.
I thought you did. I feel like most people do.
But I just want to throw this out there.
No, get it.
Taylor, I know you guys do paid vacation as well. What is your vacation structure going to look like?
So we do, after a year, our employees get a week. And then after 3 years, they get 2 weeks.
And is that like an accrued thing, or do you just automatically after 1 year give them 40 hours?
That's after they've been here for a year, they get that.
Nice. So we kind of do an accrual.
Yeah, we just kind of ask them to give us 2 weeks. Obviously, like when our guys have babies and stuff, that's when they're going to take that time. We've had a lot of that this past year, but typically we ask, 2 weeks at least to let us know.
You're telling me something's in that Florida water, and I don't want any part of it.
Seawater.
Yeah.
I do want to say, Veronica, really quick, is that, and I don't know, Taylor, Veronica, I know we do, is carry that over. Some places, they don't allow you that carry over time. And I know we let them carry it over. So like, if somebody just doesn't want to take vacation for a year, like that can carry on to the next year.
We limit our rollover. So we actually do things on an accrual basis. So after a year, you start to accrue X amount of hours, and it ends up to be 40 hours. After 2 years, you get 2 weeks. And after 6 years, you get 3 weeks, and you accrue at each paycheck. We do allow 40 hours to be rolled over into the next calendar year. And one of the reasons we do that is to really encourage our team to take that time to spend with their family. We're firm believers that you should work to live and not live to work. And let's face it, in this industry, all of us have workaholics on our teams. They love to work. And so it's our way of kind of really encouraging them to take that time, especially that time between Christmas and New Year's. They've got that vacation time. Nothing's really going on. Great time to spend it with your family. Go travel, go on a trip. So I will jump in there. Shane said 10 days. After 1 year, 15 days. Then after 10 years, 20 days with 2 weeks notice. So we kind of have a structure that they do have to give us a couple days or a couple weeks notice if it's under 3 days, and then 30 days notice if it's going to be longer than a week, just for scheduling purposes. Anybody that does anything with scheduling knows sometimes those are a little hard to rearrange. So that notice is definitely needed. So Susan chimed in and says it's a use it or lose it for my PTO. So I'm off every Friday for the rest of the year.
Now we know where she gets her time.
Now we know why those midnight text messages roll out on Thursday night. So I think that would kind of be a blessing and a curse. The end of the year is usually so busy and crunch time. I just think that it would have more disadvantages to an organization than to not. Especially rolling over after the first of the year, that tends to be the slower time of year and a great time for your teams to actually use that vacation time and go. So Shane said, I love the accrual plan. We don't roll over, have thought about buying it back. So there are times, depending on what the situation is with team members and how many PTO hours they have, we've also given them the option of buying fence material at team member pricing with vacation time. It's not something that we do often, but it is something that we've done in the past. Helps our teammate out, helps us out. The accrual plan, one of the reasons that we really like it is because right after about 1 year, you don't have somebody using all their vacation time for the year. And then they're out. So we've found that this is a full process and you earn it as the year goes. Susan says, my company sells back based on the years of service. 1 year, 1 day, 2 years, 2 days. So it's really interesting to see how the different formats work as far as, one of these great benefits for our team. So let's talk about the holidays, because this is a near and dear topic. I know for a fact, and holiday junkies. Heather's getting ready to have a cocoa party at her house, and Taylor is all things holiday and celebration. So what are some things that you guys do around the holiday season for your team?
For our team, so for Thanksgiving, this is the first year that I've done it. But this Thanksgiving, last weekend and this weekend, I'm doing family pictures for all of our guys.
Oh, I like that. So do you take pictures too?
Yeah.
I love that. That is, oh my gosh, that is a great idea.
I just pick a place. I've thought about it the last couple of years, and this year I was like, I'm just going to do it around Thanksgiving. So we did that for Thanksgiving. Around Christmas time, obviously, we have a Christmas party. That is typically on a weekend. Bring your entire family, bring your kids.
So where do you guys, and Veronica, do you guys normally do that too for SWI? Do you guys throw a Christmas party?
So up until actually December of 2020 was our last giant entire company Christmas party. And what that entailed, because we are spread out all over God's green earth in the state of Wyoming. For those of you who don't know where Wyoming is, we're located between like Utah, Colorado, Montana. There's this big void. That's where we're at. So we were bringing all of our team members down, their spouses, significant others, and their kids. We were paying for hotel rooms. We were paying for meals, and we would do a giant Christmas party. It was so fun. But as we grew, we realized that the travel time in December in Wyoming is never ideal. And then, trying to get everybody and figure out the great weekend for everybody to make this travel when time is so crazy during the holidays anyways, it was super, super fun. But we decided at that point that it was really best to kind of break off and start doing things as individual locations. And then in turn, actually, SWI does a camping trip every summer. Unfortunately,
Ooh,
this
I like
project
that.
this year that didn't allow us to do it, but we close our doors. We rent out an entire campground. We have a giant cornhole tournament. We rent a boat and all the kids are running around. It is chaotic and extremely fun, but we just found for our team in Wyoming, it was just way better to do something in the summer. But we definitely feel that it's super important to still acknowledge our team and show them our appreciation during the holidays. Of course, we do gifts. Not only do we do gifts for our team members, but we actually do spouse gifts. And it's our way of thanking the spouses at home for supporting our teams. Because if they didn't have the support at home, they would not be able to support SWI as a whole. So we felt it was really, really important to acknowledge them as well.
I like that.
I'm really fascinated about the camping trip. So I have a question for you. And so something that I find, and I don't know if either one of you guys have problems with this, and I think it's maybe a good opportunity to bring this up. And if you guys maybe don't have any problems with it, maybe somebody in the comments who's watching can, is that how do you get everybody to participate? How do you get everybody to want to be involved and come, right? Camping might not be for everybody, but bowling might not be for everybody either, right? So how do you guys get everybody involved in your gatherings?
I don't think it's ever 100% attendance. Let's be honest about it. There are some things that appeal to other team members than might not. I'm sure if Tanya Olson is watching this, she's probably jumping up and down because camping is not her thing. She'd rather be on the beach. Now, me, on the other hand, I love camping. So we don't ever expect 100% participation, but there are things that you can do to kind of entice your team to come. Like I mentioned, having a cornhole tournament. Anybody in SWI is beyond competitive. And we do, cornhole of the year, t-shirts that our guys get to wear out on job sites, and they get the bragging rights for the year. If Alan Olson is watching, he will never let anybody forget that he won the first year. And he wears that shirt proudly. And we do a blind draw. So you can't pick your teammate, and it could be a spouse, it could be another team member, and we try to get everybody involved. Competition is always a huge incentive for our team.
Really?
Okay. It seems that if we have some type of competition out there, the attendance on these kind of events seem to be a lot better. Not everybody, but it just seems those guys definitely want those bragging rights and to be a part of it. And there's some really good stuff that we've given out over the years.
So for us, we have like events on the weekends, and then we have our like team member appreciation days where it's more just for our team, and we do those on a Friday. We typically they'll do inventory on trucks, they'll work around the shop, they'll do small little jobs around town, and then they will come back to the office. They will be paid for the rest of the day, but we're doing something all together. This year we did bowling. We've done a shrimp or a crawfish boil at our office. We rented boats and went out to Shell Island for all day.
You got it made there, Taylor. You got like the best of all worlds there because you're by the beach.
Yeah, our last one everyone worked until 12, and then we had a cornhole tournament, and our guys thought that was great. And then obviously, the winners won something.
Right.
And then we do all the parades. And I think that the more that we do them and just our guys talking about them, because like our Halloween event that we do, so we have a trunk or treat. Everyone in the office decorates their trunk. You can bring your kids. We do a chili cook-off. There's trophies involved.
And this is all specific towards your Mr. Fence of Florida, right?
Yep.
Okay.
yeah, so then on Saturday, you know, they can come trick or treat. All their kids can come dressed up, and everyone just really hangs out. And the more that we do it, more people are telling the guys. So when we bring it up, hey, our trunk or treat's coming up, our guys are like, yeah, your kids were gonna love it. I think next year we're actually going to like open it up to our neighborhood and like get bounce houses and
that'd be
all
fun.
kinds of
Yeah,
things.
that'd be really cool.
And what a great way to get your community involved and let your community know that you're there.
And
And
that's
you're
good
just
marketing.
not, you know, a fence contractor, you're making a name. So even if they're in passing, you know, 3 months down the road, they're like, hey, call Mr. Fence of Florida. These guys are great. Like they did da 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 da.
Yep.
We also realize that the word of mouth within our team, for those that can attend due to scheduling or didn't attend because they, you know, weren't all about it. We've really noticed that when the pictures start rolling out and the Facebook posts start rolling out, the guys go back and they're like, oh man, you really missed it. Like we did this, and this. And, you know, so-and-so won this cornhole tournament by one bag down, you know, it was 3:00 in the morning and raining. You know, and so it's crazy how that word of mouth and that positivity starts to radiate through the team and encourages more people to be a part of those events.
Yeah.
Yadira commented that we hand out small bonuses if you're there. That's great. If that works for your team, that is fantastic. So because this is a holiday edition and we are close to the Christmas season, I know that SWI has a tendency to keep things a secret as far as things that we're doing for our team members this year. So, Taylor, do you guys kind of do the same thing?
Our guys know what they get, what Christmas party entails. But this year I actually let them, so every year that's when they get their like long sleeves and hoodies. Cause for us, our cold months are January, February, you know,
I was like,
not all cold, but
they go walk 50 degrees.
Yeah. So they know that they're going to get those. So this year I actually opened it up and let them all pick their own colors and what they wanted themselves. So they get that, and they know that they're getting that. But then we do like a white elephant. We buy the presents, we wrap them. When you get called up, that's when you get to pick a gift and you take it back and no one opens it until everyone has a gift.
I like that idea.
I want to chime in on this. I actually visited Josh and Lauren Glover. This was a few years ago when Lauren was actually in the office full time. And I will say your guys' white elephant gifts are nothing like I have ever seen before. If anybody that knows Josh Glover knows that he doesn't do anything kind of half-ass. We're talking like huge TVs and we're talking sound systems and we're
headphones. Yeah,
it's absolutely something in itself. Susan asked, what's the most hilarious white elephant gift ever?
So for us, it's more of like not funny ones. Just because we want everyone to get something that they can actually use.
That makes sense.
So their version of White Elephant is Mr. Fence of Florida actually buys all the gifts. They wrap them all, and then their team members each get to go pick a random package.
Yep.
And I've seen them put things in a giant box that's little, you know, to kind of keep it fun. So we have at our small Christmas parties we do, and our big ones, we've had the standard White Elephant where everybody brings a gift. We do not put a dollar amount on it for SWI. We're going to leave it up to each team member. We've had some good ones. I think Mark actually walked away with a Shiwi one year, if I remember correctly.
What?
Oh my God. a shiwi. Look it up. We can't talk about that here.
Okay.
We're just gonna leave it at that. I think that was one of the best ones. I actually do have a garden gnome in my office. He's about this big and he's got his middle finger up. That came from one of our white elephant gifts.
You were happy, weren't you?
Yeah. I might have been the one that paid for it and bought it. So, Heather, what's the best white elephant gift you've seen?
Oh my goodness. I probably can't say. Like, I don't know.
Go for it.
I don't know why my elephant. I feel really embarrassed. I'm getting embarrassed. I feel my cheeks getting red.
Oh my gosh.
Here I was thinking I had no color. And now my face is getting red.
You're welcome.
I'll say last year, like on our like personal, not work related, the best one that we did, Chris did Beat headphones, but he did like cans of Beats and put a headband
Oh my
on
God, I
them.
love that.
So that
That's
was really
good.
fun.
That's good.
You know Taylor's husband, Chris, that does not surprise you in the least. Chris is our adopted SWI kid most of the time. He calls me when his SWI hat's worn out so I can mail him another one. I haven't got any Chris SWI hat pictures lately, speaking of that.
No, he
It
has.
must have been worn out and needs another one.
When we moved from our old office, all of his hats are in a box still in the corner of his office.
Chris, if you're watching this, or Taylor, take this message back. That is unacceptable. So what do you got, Heather? Come on, spill it. Let's hear it.
I can't tell my gift because if I tell my gift, then like I'll never be allowed to participate again. So I got to keep it clean, right? I need my little halo on top of my head.
Does that mean I need to put on my horns?
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, so since Heather's not going to spill the beans and she's being all bashful, unlike Taylor and I, we don't want to really like give away, because SWI does things as a surprise for our team members and things that, you know, what's to come. So I figured I would kind of throw out some ideas and some things that we have done in the past for our team. In 2020, we actually got customized Arctic coolers. Not the itty bitty tiny ones. You're talking, you know, great. You can throw a couple of them in the back of a pickup. They had our logo on the top for our team, and that was a huge hit. But those are the coolers that you guys have seen at Fence Tech this past year, as well as at the Fence Show in August that we were raffling off. Those are actually Christmas gifts to our team. Last year, we actually have one of the benefits through an account through Ariat. So all of our guys and our office staff got personalized thick winter Ariat coats with the SWI logo on the back.
I'm really jealous. I might want to come work for SWI currently, only because I'm a huge Ariat fan.
So, I mean, this is like one of them. I actually have it on the back of my chair. So it has the SWI logo on it. And then on the front did have everybody's name. And a great way. And some of our guys decided to use them for work, and some of them, you know, that's their weekend jacket, or, you know, when they're not working and all dirty and gross.
It's a really
I'm
nice
trying to think of some
jacket.
other things we've done. Heather, what are some things that you've done in the past?
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, so I think, so I'm trying to think. Last year, well, okay, sad. We actually had to cancel our Christmas party last year. This is kind of a big bummer. So we ended up with a terrible ice storm. Has that happened to you guys? I mean, so I'm in my head, I'm thinking your camping idea is a great idea. I know Taylor doesn't have to worry about that risk of snowstorms down there. I mean, if she had a summer thing, she might have to worry about a hurricane. But like, so last year we actually had to cancel our party because we had ice and it was negative like 30 degrees here. And it's hard, right? I don't know if you guys run into this problem, and I'm randomly throwing this out there, but if you guys were to plan something and some major event happened, and it's probably more related, Veronica might have more of a problem with that, like I said, than Taylor. But what do you guys do? Like, because trying to reschedule something whenever, it's like, okay, well, we've planned it for this weekend. Everybody's planned for like 3 months. So like right now we have our party planned already, right? And we've had it planned since August, but I don't know what the weather's going to be. So what do you guys do? How do you handle that?
So when we've actually had these, the last one we actually had a really weird snowstorm come in, and we actually reached out to our team that was traveling. We have one location that's 4 hours away from us, and we have another location that's 2.5 hours. So getting and keeping an eye on those storms and having our teams maybe travel a day early to make sure that they're able to attend, then we would take care of whatever hotel accommodations, were needed. As far as like what is happening at each location, we'll drive in 4 feet of snow. There's very rare things that will actually keep people from Wyoming in their house.
We can't drive in rain. You would laugh. Indiana Hoosiers can't drive in rain. Just so you know, we get scared.
Susan chimed in and said, "Not today, Satan." So I think like the best thing to do. So Heather, because you guys actually had to cancel your Christmas party, did you guys do something like January or February for your team in acknowledgement for that?
I'm going to be honest with you. We failed miserably. Last year was a huge, terrible fail because Sean travels a lot. So it's hard. And like, I don't know. I'm one of those people that a firm believer that I don't just want Mr. Fence people to have a party without us, not because of selfish reasons, but when I used to work for the nursing home, we loved when the CEO would come in and be a part of the team. I think it's really important to have a presence there, right? And failure is a learning experience, and it completely was a learning experience, which I think is why I'm so gung-ho to make sure Thanksgiving is better. I'm gung-ho to make sure that Christmas is better this year. Whenever I started working at Mr. Fence, COVID happened. We did so many things for people during COVID. We didn't give out bonuses, but we offered extra opportunities to work. We bought them turkeys. And I feel like we got so busy and life happened that kind of, it lost its importance and its value, which is really bad. And that's really hard for me because, I have a social worker, like that's my world, like, right, is helping people. And it's really important. So this year, I'm like, huge medical year, but I'm like, I'm going to make Thanksgiving good. So like right now, better late than never. I'm trying to, and I don't know that anybody might be on this call to know, but my goal is next week, we're going to give away Butterball turkey certificates. So I had a friend, Facebook's a great thing whenever you're in search of something, right? So I literally put in my search bar in search of where can I buy bulk turkeys, right? Because, 50 turkeys in a short period of time is going to be hard. But also, I'm not really sure where we would store them at Mr. Fence. Like, I don't really want to have 50 frozen fresh turkeys like laying there. It's gross. But so we're going to do that. And so maybe it's better I tell you what we're doing this year, because last year we failed. COVID, we were great. This year or last year we weren't. This year is going to be better. It's important.
Yeah. What do you have? I mean, that's awesome. I think that the turkey thing is a great idea. And a way to kind of, hey, sorry about last year, but let's make this year, 10 times better. Let's, do something.
That's goals. That's my goals,
right?
Is to make it better.
Somebody, there's a Facebook user, not sure, somebody didn't register with StreamYard. So unfortunately I can't see their name, but it says it happens. We have had a year where all of a sudden I look down and it's December 1st and I'm going,
that was me last year.
So one of the things, SWI, we don't believe in Christmas bonuses. This is something that is just kind of outside our company culture and something that we just don't really think is, it's not a good fit for us. One, trying to put a dollar amount on bonuses depending on the team member, what their role is within our organization, that's kind of hard to kind of do. So that's for one. Two, we are really big on making sure that we are taking care of our team throughout the year as far as their wages. We pay, extremely well, not just in our area, but as a whole. And we really don't want people to get reliant on Christmas bonuses at the end of the year. It tends to be, how many people have seen the movie Christmas Vacation? He already spent his bonus money. He already put the deposit on his pool, and he got a certificate to Jelly of the Month Club. When you start to put that out there, that Christmas bonuses are a thing every year, and Heather, unfortunately, one year you just have a year that gets away from you, and you've got people relying on that. It can really be a bad situation, and not to mention have some serious negative impact into the company culture after the holidays.
It's a bad start to your year. So, I want to comment on that. It's so funny that you brought that up, Veronica. So Sean King is the exact same way. He has that exact mindset. He does not believe in giving bonuses for Christmas because he doesn't want people to become reliant on it. And I literally was having coffee today with a coworker, and we were talking about this. And I explained to her, I said, I see both sides of the story, because I used to work for a corporate office at a nursing home, right? And then I worked, for a small business. And it's funny because I know as a single mom, that extra money helped me. And I know, and I see, but because I see both sides. I see you're very right, Veronica, you're very right. Like, what if we can't give it 1 year? What if business is so slow we can't afford to give a bonus, and then they don't get it, and then they can't get their kids Christmas, right?
Right.
And you shouldn't become reliant on that. But at the same time, coming from the corporate world and being, when I used to be like a single mom, and it was really hard financially, because, women, I hate to say it, but honestly, a lot of women don't make what men make. And so it makes it hard to support life in general. So I don't know, it's like hard. I'm like, I want to give him a bonus. I want to somehow figure that out. Right.
Right.
Sean.
So there's totally different ways to do that. And we've got some ideas. I'm kind of curious real quick. Taylor, what is Mr. Fence of Florida's take on bonuses?
So we do get Christmas bonuses.
Okay.
And for us, like, our guys are never expecting of that. You never hear them talk about it. They always talk about the gift that they got to pick. They talk about that they got to bring their kid and their girlfriend to their family party or their Christmas party. We never really hear our guys talk about their bonus. Now, that's not to say that they don't talk about it, because,
Right.
They just don't talk about it to us, but like, they're always, thankful for them. Especially we do it so close to Christmas. So like Heather said, that could be how they're going to pay for their kids' Christmas.
Right.
So our guys are very thankful when they get them. But they never talk about it. It's always all the other things that we do at our Christmas party. Last year was the first year, and we're going to do it this year because it really worked for us. So 2 weeks before our Christmas party, I had the idea that instead of Chris and Josh getting up there and just talking about these, they're all of our team members, I pulled in all the crews one by one, took every one person, and I asked them, what do you have to say about this person? Why do you like working with this person? What do I asked them questions about their team member, and they got to say whatever they wanted to, and I put it on a postcard, typed it all up, and that's what Chris read. And then they got to take that postcard home, because that's what their guys that they work with every day think about them.
I like that. That's creating a positive culture. That's very awesome. Yep.
And our guys loved it.
We did a thing a few years ago, and this was so fun to do. I got, like Taylor, you get this wild harebrained idea in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night, and you're like, I don't have enough going on planning this company Christmas party. Let's add to it.
Yeah.
So I had this wild harebrained idea to get a secret from each one of our team members that nobody else on the team knows.
Ooh.
Which is really hard because our guys can spend upwards of 80 hours a week with each other. So let me tell you what, some of these were, they really had to dig deep. But what we did is at our Christmas party, I actually stood up and would read these secrets, and everybody had to guess who it was.
Oh, really fun.
It was so fun to do, and the conversations that sparked up from hearing these secrets. And if you think Mark and Alan did not get involved in this, no, I made them because we want to know, other things that we might not know about them as well. It was so fun to do. So we actually ended up doing it 2 years in a row. And, those new guys that are coming in that join you, the following year, were just kind of like their eyes got this big because some of the secrets got a little bit more detailed than, the first year. But it was really, really fun. And it sparked that conversation outside of sitting at a Christmas party and talking about the projects you did this year. Obviously, we do acknowledge those and we talk about, the great wins of the year and the projects that we'll never forget, but it really took things on a personal level.
So I'm going to add something to that. That's really important that you said that, Veronica, because I read something the other day. I'm really big on reading like positive quotes and motivational speakers and stuff like that. And something it says is a lot of people don't care how much money, they care. That's probably not an accurate reflection of that. They care how much money they make. But what they want most is for people to listen. Absolutely. And I think bringing up a personal aspect, an attribute about somebody, it helps you relate to them. It brings you closer as a family, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's like eating at the dining room table. When our parents used to make us eat at the dining room table, not many people do that anymore, but like you had to talk.
Right.
Like you had to sit there.
Yeah.
So how do you guys, when you do these Christmas parties, Taylor, and you've invited spouses and significant others and you've invited kids, how do you include them at those holiday events? Because we can all sit around and geek about fence for hours. This is what we do. This is our passion. This is our love. It's really easy. But for a spouse that obviously isn't such a fence dork, sitting there listening about fencing for hours is going to get old and not want to participate the following year. So how do you kind of bring them in so they're included in this fence life?
So for us, I've been thinking of ways to do that because at our Christmas party, like obviously everyone can bring someone, their significant other or spouse, whatever, and their kids. So we have the kids, the building that we get, it's like a party room on this side, and then the other room is a party room. It's connected. So we have a kid area, and we have somebody who, does cookies with the kids, coloring with the kids, all of that, all the fun stuff.
In a bounce house, in a hotel. Oh, yeah.
But I've been thinking of ways. I think the biggest thing for the spouses is the slideshow. Because, they might not see what their person does all year long. They might not see who they hang out with all year long. But I've been trying to think of ways to get them more involved.
Susan chimed in and said SAS Christmas parties are kick-ass. They fly every employee plus a significant other to one location. During the day, they split us into groups where we are interacting with couples from other branches and doing competitions. It's expensive, but so worth it. Team building.
Wow.
Like 100% team building.
Susan, are they hiring?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've done at Christmas parties in the past, matter of fact, every Christmas party that we've had that was family style that we pulled everybody in is I always did trivia questions. So I mixed Christmas trivia with SWI trivia. So I would, there was one year I'm like, how many emails are in Veronica's sent email? Nobody got that answer, by the way. Another one, that I did is we had a project that was in 3 different locations, and it had the largest amount of change orders in SWI history. There was one other person that knew how many change orders it was, and that was the foreman that was running the project. So I quickly run over and I covered his mouth. I'm like, you're not allowed to answer this. Because between him and myself, we were the only 2 that knew the answers. But then in between those SWI questions, let's talk about Christmas trivia. You can find out where did the history of the candy cane come from, or somebody said, I love the slideshow idea to show the spouses. Absolutely. Brag about your team. And that's a great way to show them, what they've been working on in their dedication. So kind of intertwining SWI stuff with just, Christmas or holiday tradition kind of. And then, of course, we always had prizes to go with that. We would have a table full of wrapped presents that, if they got that trivia question right, then they were able to go pick something up off the table. And it really brought, our team members and their spouses and everybody competing together. And you'll notice that towards as you get through the trivia questions, the spouses start trying to answer the SWI questions. Because they're after those prizes and they're hearing these conversations, and it was really fun to watch. And then, I'm handing out prizes to some spouses that, were not a part of our day-to-day operations, and they got the answers and our team didn't. But, it just really made it more fun and kind of interacted the 2 sides.
Yeah, I like that. I've been thinking about doing ornaments for the spouses since we just took their pictures. I'll just put them on there and that will be their gift. So when their husband gets called up, do his card, he gets to pick his gift, he gets his gift bag full of his shirts, and then their wife gets,
get something as well. And that's fantastic. Especially to acknowledge them. Scare reels are my favorite.
So our slideshow is full. If you've ever been or will visit our office, you will be scared by someone, most likely Chris.
I know.
He hides and jumps out, and our slideshow is filled with them. Last year, Josh thought it was funny to bring an air horn to work. So the next day, he came to work and I hid behind the door and he walked in and I just held it. He was like,
oh my God. Can we please post that on the Women of FWA TikTok page?
I will.
I need that.
That's funny.
In my life.
And then I asked last year to add in the slideshow, I asked every guy, I recorded them, what their favorite thing about the year was, and that didn't have to be work related because their families are there. So they got to, talk to their spouse, thank them. And then I got to ask, what their favorite project of the year that they were. So at the very end of our slideshow of pictures, it was videos of each guy and then all the bloopers.
I love that. And what a great way to pull those spouses in and kind of show them the nonsense craziness that happens in Mr. Fensa Florida. Anybody that knows any of the Mr. Fensa Florida team knows that the shenanigans. Mm-hmm. If you think you know the shenanigans that are happening at Mr. Fensa Florida, you are way underrating the team. I have spent time there. I have spent a lot of time with that team, and they are so much fun. I think that we're super fun around SWI. We're always laughing and joking, but that Mr. Fensa Florida team is unreal. So we have just a few more minutes before we wrap up. Got about 10 more minutes. So Heather, you're really focusing on your Thanksgiving, kind of Christmas. You know, you're with the ice storm happening last year. Can you tell us what exactly you're doing for Christmas this year?
Somebody, I like that. Can we just talk about that comment?
Okay, so let's talk about this because I know who wrote that, even though he didn't subscribe to StreamYard. That is Josh Glover. So, Josh,
You get bad
so
ones or
when
you get
COVID
grandmas.
was going on, yeah, yeah. Lauren helped too. So when COVID was going on, I actually ended up getting COVID and was working from the house. And my estimator at the time called me and told me that I had a very personal package that he had to sign for that was addressed to me.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up to be an empty tube, but it had like adult content, you know, like this package includes.
I'm gonna get embarrassed again. Like, who are you?
It was really funny. So I was not. So here's the thing. Anybody in the fence fam that is close to me that would send that kind of package is not going to be able to keep their mouth closed very long. So I told my estimator, don't you say a word. Somebody's going to come out of the woodworks and tattle on themselves. And sure enough, Josh Glover calls me a few days later and he goes, so did you get a package? I'm like, I knew it. But the Mr. Fence of Florida team and myself, there was a picture of an obituary of a grandma that actually got mailed back and forth between our teams for, I don't know what, Taylor, a year and a half.
Probably.
It was super random. But so, yes, Veronica getting shenanigans in the mail is sometimes they're adult content. Does it make me blush? No, I think it's great.
Does it actually say adult content on the outside of the package before you open it?
In my desk drawer, and Josh Glover is going to. So we're gonna like cover up most of this so you can kind of read.
Oh my god!
So yes, this is what came to mouth. What is really fun about that is when we bring somebody new in, if I go to reach in that desk drawer, it's right there on top. There's no shame. It is fun. And I am HR of SWI, so if you can imagine the look of shock, it's fun.
Okay, so there's this
mortified, Heather?
There's this really funny part of me that's like in my head, I'm thinking, how fun would that be to like do that to the guys on the truck? But then I'm like, do you get in trouble with HR? If like you like
HR,
I know. Does that work?
Yeah, you gotta kind of be careful on that. It is a gift near and dear to my heart from Josh Glover. Like I said, it's lived in my desk since 2020. It is probably one of those things that I actually, one of these days I gotta, whatever. And my estimator had to sign for it and call me at home and take a picture of it and send it to me. I guess the look on the man's face was really great, but you can do fun things. And if anybody knows Mark Olson and Ellen Olson, they are also kings of practical jokes. Josh Glover definitely fits in there. Some of the stuff that they do, but it keeps it fun, and it keeps us all really close and part of the fence fam. We are not opposed.
Our entire office is like that every day. Every day.
Yeah, I'm sure. I could not imagine. So, Heather, what exactly are you doing this year?
So,
you're avoiding my question.
I know. Because part of me is like, I don't know if I want anybody to know because I'm not sure like who will end up watching this, but I'll go ahead and tell you guys. So for work related purposes, we're obviously having the Christmas party. We are bowling. There's really, Taylor, I don't know. Are you actually from Evansville? Or are you from, okay. So I wasn't sure because since I didn't know that. So, so there's not a lot to do in Evansville. There's just really not. It's kind of a boring city. It's like, I don't know. It's just not, it's not Florida and it's not Wyoming. But so we're gonna bowl, which whatever. We are going to have Santa Claus there. Taylor and Veronica, do you guys know Pops? Dan Dolson. Okay. He plays our Santa. He's great.
I
He's
love that.
cute. He loves the kids. So we're going to have that. And that's how we get the kids to interact, which is nice. And then we're also talking about doing like, I went back and forth with my coworker today, and we talked about what are we going to do for like the month, right? So I don't think we're going to do the whole month. We're not going to do 25 days, but we're going to do like the 12 days of Christmas. And each person who comes to work every day, they get to pick a prize, right? And that will increase it as the goal is that it will increase as like the days go on, right? So like the 12th day of Christmas will be your big day. Nobody will know that, but unless they're on this call or they see this, but but anyway, so that was a thought. That was a thought that we were going to do, is to add that to the Christmas party, as well as their gifts or whatever.
I love that.
It's hard.
Taylor, what do
It's
you
hard
have
because
planned special for 2023?
We rented the same place. It like fits perfect for us. We'll do our slideshow. I'm gonna ask everyone their things again this year because it worked out so well last year. They'll get their gift, then they'll get to pick a gift, and then yeah, that's what we do for. And then they get their bonus at the Christmas party as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
So SWI, we're doing things a little bit different this year. We are actually on a huge project. And our crews are currently working 2 weeks on and 1 week off. They're kind of working, those that live in the oil field parts of the US know those are oil field hours. We have ordered gifts for our team that they will be getting, but due to the scheduling that's kind of happened, we're really worried about people being left out or not being able to attend because their time at home is so limited right now with their schedules. So we are planning something pretty big for 2024 once this project's over, making sure everything's profitable and good. We will do something really big with our team since we're not able to actually do even those one-on-one Christmas parties. But we're definitely giving gifts. We're definitely like acknowledging our team, making sure that they know how much we appreciate them and we love them and couldn't do this without them. So we're just gonna
sometimes I think it's hard, right? I mean, as far as like, and sometimes what we talked about earlier about as far as like people participating and wanting to be a part of it, sometimes people just don't want to come to an event because they want to spend time with their family. So I don't think that's bad at all.
So we'll see. It's just a little bit different year for us. We're into stuff that we have never done before, and so this is new. But we definitely want to make sure that our team knows that we love them and we appreciate them and acknowledge it, even though we might do something big later on down the road. So, I do want to tell both of you thank you for joining me this evening and having this chat about holidays and company culture, because these things are big in your culture, in your organization. Making sure that you're taking time to acknowledge your team and let them know that you're thankful for them and the vacation bonuses and the days off. And, I understand that there's organizations out there that just don't have the means to do that yet, but I just think that it is so beneficial and huge to your company culture, and definitely something that every organization, whether if you're a brand new vendor or, you're brand new to the fence industry on the install side, to definitely take a look at and make sure, if possible, to be able to work those into your numbers, know your numbers on your projects, so that way you can provide those extras to your team. In so many ways, small contractors aren't able to do that, and that kind of goes back to knowing your numbers. So we will have another live next Tuesday, just for all of those of you that are here. The live next week will be with Julie and Jen from Fence Cloud. We are currently looking for 2 other contractors to join them. they are going to talk about a Q&A on vendor relations from the contractor point of view. So how do you build those relationships? How do you keep those relationships? How do you know to walk away from certain vendor relationships? So it will be a great live. Please stay tuned next Tuesday. Taylor and Heather, thank you again for joining me this evening. And I hope you guys.
Taylor, it was nice having you on the chat.
Nice to talk to you guys too. I have one thing to add.
Okay.
About making sure that you do something for your team, no matter the size, if you have the money or what. It doesn't have to be this grand thing. Like you can literally have a potluck. And
I was thinking the same thing.
At your office, no matter how big it is,
like a taco bar.
Yeah, like
absolutely.
We had a nacho bar, like it's not, it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, extravagant. You don't even have to give gifts if you can't do that. Just
correct.
Have your people bring their people to meet their other people, because that's exactly what they're.
And like Veronica said, you can do like trivia. Mm-hmm. You can make it personable.
Absolutely. For anybody that is interested in joining the Women of FWA or joining our live next week, you can find us on all the social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you would like to join one of the lives, you can message us through one of those, or you can send us an email at womenofFWA@gmail.com. We are constantly monitoring that email to get more participation. So please, please, please reach out. Thank you to everybody for your comments and your interaction during these lives. It definitely makes it way more fun.
It does.
Outside perspectives and Josh Glover commenting on the shenanigans I get in the email. Good thing I'm an open book, huh?
I will make sure I find that video.
I'll work on it.
Yes.
I'll let you guys know soon.
So thank you guys again. Take time to appreciate your team. Take time to spend, with your team. It doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be elaborate. A lot of times team members just want some recognition and some one-on-one conversation with you that doesn't have to do with the day-to-day activities. Know you're human, know you're, a person, that you have a life outside of there. So just take time to please, please, please acknowledge your team. It builds company culture and builds a base that will continue to carry you forward as far as you guys choose to take it. So thank you guys so much. You guys have a fantastic evening.
Love you guys. See you later.
See ya.